Becca.
Hi. I'm just so glad you decided to meet with me. I mean, I always come to you for advice, and I was just really thankful that you took time to help me out for a couple months. I really need advice. My parents are getting really mad at me because, like, I graduated, but there's no jobs right now in graphic design. There's lots of them, but I don't have enough experience for people to want me. Like, my designs are fantastic. My parents are getting aggravated with me. They're like, oh, stop being on your computer, go find a job. I'm like, Mom, I'm trying to find a job. Like, sorry that being on a computer is kind of part of my job. It's kind of a hassle, but they're getting really aggravated with me not being out of the house, and I just don't know how to fix that. It's not working very well. They're like, go find a full-time job. I have part-time jobs, like I host, I serve sometimes if they need me to, but it's not enough to get an apartment or provide my own food like regularly, so I'm just still living with them, and they're not feeling that.
Right.
I've been thinking about, I have a couple friends who are moving into an apartment, but they said I could move in, but that would be all of my monthly pay, and I would have barely any money left for anything but food. I mean, sure, like, we split costs in apartment living, but it's still, I don't think that's ideal. I mean, I could stop trying to get a graphic design job and just find a full-time job as, like, a cashier or something, but I don't really want to do that. I mean, I have a degree in graphic design. Why would I want to go become a cashier? Like, that doesn't make sense at all. And so, I mean, I could say for graduate school then, but I don't think I really should have to go to graduate school for graphic design. I mean, I'm not going into, like, computer design, just websites and business proposals, that kind of thing, just designs for that. But, I mean, then I could keep living with my parents probably. I think that would get them off my back if I got a full-time job, but, I mean, then I don't really have time to look for other jobs. And I mean, it's just so, every time you get rejected, it hurts. You're like,
right.
I just don't, like, I have great references from all my teachers and professors and that, but just I don't have enough experience. And then I've noticed, like, I've been thinking about, like, a missionary trip just to not do anything for a while. I mean, it's a lack of income for about a year, but my student loans should be deferred, shouldn't they, if I go on a missionary trip, at least a little bit?
I think so, yeah, they should be.
So that would be nice, and that's a good thing to have on a resume, right? Like, mission trips.
That would be amazing to have on your resume, yeah.
I don't know. And I've been trying to I have ideas, but I have no way to, like, build on them, you know? You have, not inventions, but, like, entrepreneurial stuff. It's like, I could do this, but I don't have all the fields to do it. I mean, I think I have some great ideas, like scented tissues.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, you pick up a tissue, and it smells like fruit. How cool would that be?
That would be awesome.
It would be really cool.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
They're simple, like the cup. You know the little paper thing that goes around it? Like hot coffee? Like
yeah,
sleeve?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, that's such a simple idea. Like, why can't I think of something like that? Like, an easy invention that just millions, like, that would be so nice. But I don't do that.
I mean, I'm sure with time you'll learn to do those kind of things.
I don't know which one, like, I should be leaning towards or which ones are better for me. It doesn't, I don't know. I just don't know how to get my parents off my back or how to get more freedom or be an adult.
It's really tough transition.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure it out, but I don't know which way to go. I don't know whether, I've really been thinking about the missionary stuff, but I mean, that's a long time to be gone.
Right.
And there's so much happening right now. Like, that'd be a good reason to go.
Yeah, and it would help with your parents probably.
Probably.
If you went out and were doing something like that. I think it could be really beneficial for you.
I don't know where I would go. I mean, there's obviously, like, 164 countries, but I don't know which one to pick.
Yeah, well, maybe you could, write out, like, a list of different places and, like, just, like, anything that might interest you at all, and maybe, like, look up each one and see what it's like and what kind of work you could do there, maybe.
Okay, yeah, that would work. Because I know there's, like, a bunch of programs, like churches and Red Cross and that kind of thing that will send you over there. Some of them even pay you to go.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not so much in that one for the money, just it's something different that a lot of people wouldn't have.
Right.
Like, I was on a mission trip for a year and a half. Like, that's something like, oh, like, what'd you do? It starts conversation. It keeps them interested in the qualities I have.
So you're looking more for, like, a good experience rather than just getting payment
Right.
sort of thing. You want to have, like, a good experience under your belt type thing, which that would look really good for a resume too. So
I think experience is big. Like, I can go work as a cashier, but then it's like, oh, you're a cashier. You have absolutely no graphic design experience. Like, I have a little bit, but it's not enough. Like, there's so many people who've been doing it for years and are so much better, and it's a big business right now, and I don't know how to get into it,
Right. Have you thought about maybe looking for a job that's sort of like graphic design, like that would maybe give you like a boost, but maybe isn't exactly what you want, like exactly, like maybe some sort of art kind of thing?
I've tried, I cannot think of the word. It's gone. Applied. Yeah, that was the word I was looking for. I've applied for different things. Like, I applied at, like, an art shop and, like, a computer store just to, like, one aspect or the other, just to kind of get in a little bit. But nobody's really hiring right now. I mean, everybody's already hired for Christmas, and they're like, no, we have our people. I wonder maybe if, like, after, like, once the new year starts, if that'll help a little bit. But I don't know. Because I haven't really actually applied for, like, a graphic design job yet because I don't know where to look. Like, most of those are online and they're not looking right now. Just, I don't know.
Yeah. So you don't want like kind of an online job, you want to really start out?
I think personal interaction would be good.
Okay.
And then kind of maybe move as I go up in the field, then like over the internet, that kind of stuff will be easier, but I really need to get in first before I can do that.
So when you say personal interaction, what do you mean? Like, what kind of
I think,
are you looking at?
like this kind of thing, like go have an interview, let them know me, let them see things other than just my work, like my personality, like become known in the field, like gradually work my way up, and then I can start being behind the computer more than I am, because I have to get out there first, but by just being behind the computer, it's like, oh, like you see a name at the bottom of the screen and don't have a face to put with it, but then if you get out there first, it's like, oh, she did this. That's cool.
Yeah, that sounds like you really have a good idea of how you can get yourself out there. You just don't know what your first steps are.
Right.
Yeah.
I need to get out of the house first.
Right.
It needs to happen. My parents are getting aggravated.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your parents and your relationship with them?
They helped me pay for college, so I took out some student loans, and then they paid for my first 2 years, and then I paid for my second, and so I'm working on paying them back right now, which is kind of hard when I'm still living in their house, and I have a decent relationship with my parents. They're kind of very controlling, even as an adult. I'm just kind of and I fully respect it's their house, I'll follow their rules, but I mean, I'm 20, I feel like I shouldn't have to be back by 11 o'clock because they want to go to bed. It's kind of aggravating sometimes. I mean, obviously I'll respect their rules because, I mean, I'm living with them, but they like control, so that's definitely a struggle, and I don't think they mind me living there. I think they feel like I'm not trying to get out, though. Because, I mean, I do sit on the computer a lot, but, I mean, my degree is also in computers and graphic design. There's a reason I sit there and mess with art programs and different websites, and I'm doing research, but it looks like I'm just messing around on the computer.
Right.
But I don't think they really thought that this was a good major to go into. I don't think they think it was a good field.
So, you feel are you feeling like your parents aren't really understanding where you're coming from, type thing?
Yeah.
Like there's a disconnect. Have you tried talking to them?
Yeah, I've tried. It's just, they're more, when are you going to get a real job? Stop messing around with your computer. That's not going to get you anywhere. And they're still very in their generation. They haven't, I don't think they realize how important technology is these days. It's just very, go do this, go do this, go do this. You can physically see the work you're doing as opposed to a computer. You can see it, but it's kind of distanced. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't see the benefit of working with computers, even though that's basically our society now, which is why I went into it, because I knew there would be space to grow with it.
Right.
But they're be an accountant, be a lawyer, be something other than art.
That must be frustrating that they don't.
It is, but I mean, I've learned to deal with it.
Okay. Okay, so, what are some of your feelings going into all of this?
I need a job. It's a want. I don't know, I really need to figure things out. It's just confusion right now. There's so many paths I could take, but I don't, because there's some that'll be better, for me, and then there's some that are better, for my career, and then there's some that are better for, my parents, and it's just, I don't know which one to go with first, before I really take off, because I have to start somewhere.
Right. Okay, so, say you could have any kind of life you want. Don't think about all the negative things that could happen. Just think about if you could have whatever you wanted, what would that be? And, just picture that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me what you might be thinking?
I want to work in New York for a big company and do their website design and their advertising design and that kind of thing. And I want to be living in an apartment in New York, not necessarily downtown, but maybe kind of on the outskirts, kind of suburb area. But I want to work with a big company, and I want people to see my work.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want my work to become known.
Right. So you're looking for more of a publicity kind of job.
Mm-hmm.
You want, okay. So it sounds like you got a big dream going. So that's good. Good. Keep dreaming big. So what are your thoughts of how you could possibly get to this New York job?
I need to, obviously, money is important. I need money to get to New York, because we're in Ohio, and there's a couple states in between us right now, and which is part of the reason I'm not sure the missionary trip is the best idea, because I don't, it's gonna take longer, but I think if I did that, the experience from that would get me somewhere faster than just making money to save up.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it would equal out to about the same amount of time, but I have no idea, whether or not that's true.
Right.
So, I don't know. 'Cause I don't want to cashier or serve or work at a retail for the next 4 years trying to save up for graduate school and pay my parents back at the same time. That just doesn't make sense to me.
Right. But what would be so terrible about doing that? I mean, if it got you where you needed to go?
I just feel like I'm not doing enough. Like, I feel like I'm just kind of in the background. I'm not saying I want to be, like, forefront, because, I mean, that's not going to happen for a while. But like, with a mission trip, I feel like I'm at least doing something, not only with my career, because it's adding experience, it's adding different situations and critical thinking, but, like, I'm doing something for myself. If I'm just sitting at a cash register all day, I don't feel like I'm doing anything for me. Like, I don't want to start off by doing something I hate every single day.
Okay. Yeah, that's understandable. Working as a cashier can be kind of... I've worked as a cashier. It's interesting. And you get a different story every day.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it's stressful. All of this is very stressful. So, if you were to go on a missionary trip, what kind of... Like, what would you be looking for to get out of that experience? Like, as far as your computer design and things like that?
Well, with computer design, you don't really help people. I mean, you help people, but in a different way. I like helping people, and I think a missionary trip would be good for that aspect. Like, I could feel like I'm making a difference. I mean, with computer design, you make a difference, but it's more from a business standpoint. But I think I really want to make a difference, like, on a humanities kind of standpoint, which the mission trip would do. Because, I mean, there's only so much you can do for humanities through graphic design unless you go work for, like, I don't know, like the Red Cross or just someone to get that kind of thing out, but that's not really as needed right now because those companies are already built and people know about it, you know? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. So, you kind of stuck on the fence of having to deal with financial versus what you really want to do.
Right.
That's a rough spot. But maybe you could think about maybe getting some sort of volunteer job, like, around you, maybe?
Oh,
and,
okay.
like, maybe eventually as you get through that job, you can find a job that will actually pay you, and then you can start building up that, maybe.
Okay.
And then if you
That
save
makes
up
a lot of
enough,
sense, yeah.
yeah, and then maybe you'll be able to have enough money to go on your mission trip, and
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, I think I might look into that.
okay. Yeah. Do you know what kind of job you might be looking for?
If I'm, as far as volunteering, I'll probably, like, I don't know, go to the Salvation Army or volunteer, just, like, at a women's shelter or something, just, well, or if I were to volunteer around where I live somewhere, but as far as a job, I'll probably make money as a server, just I feel like that's more beneficial to me because I continue with, like, personal interaction because when you're in graphic design, you have a tendency to get kind of antisocial. You're behind a computer screen a lot. So I don't want to become, like, the stereotypical graphic designer, like, computer screen, like, box. Like, I don't want that. So I think I would look for a job as a server because I keep my interaction skills going.
Yeah, it sounds like interaction is really important to you. Do you think that it's going to work well once you do get your job as a graphic designer?
I think I will because, I mean, once I really, like, get a job as a graphic designer, like, I will have connections already because, I mean, you need connections to the business and to the people who own it and to the other people who work for it, like, how they think. And so I think I will, after I really get into it, like, I will have that interaction that I'm still looking for.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. That sounds really great. Thank you so much for your time and just talking with me. It's good to talk to you again.
Thanks for letting me come, and I'm sure we'll talk again in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'll be seeing you soon. We can keep discussing maybe some volunteer opportunities for you.
Okay,
Things
awesome.
like that. So
Thank
that's
you.
something to think about. All right.
Thank you so much.